Are mounting about the quality of training of Gauteng's crime prevention wardens. We've been seeing a lot of the activities that they're doing. Some South Africans, remarking not only about their look and their physique as far as preparedness is concerned. And so this has been the focus of a report that reveals that most of the AmaPanyaza, as they are known, are unqualified and poorly trained. The Daily Maverick reports that the training program was carried out by people without the necessary skills. Now, a whistleblower revealed that the training was carried out by a retired correctional service official. Let's chat to Maverick Citizen editor Mark Heywood, who joins us today. Mark, thank you for your time. Mark, talk to us about how this report actually came about, the story. Why was this suddenly a focus for you as the Daily Maverick?
Good morning. Yes, it became a focus actually because a person who was a victim of assault at the hands of the Gauteng crime prevention wardens contacted us. We investigated his assault, a very, very brutal assault that has left him seriously disabled. And that then led to a wider set of questions around the crime prevention wardens, around the legality of the way in which they have been established. In fact, I'm of the belief that they are established illegally and outside of the law. And then eventually to this question of how well trained are the wardens. Now, it's an important question because there are nearly 5,000 deployed already. There will be 6,000 at the peak. And as you know, Tommy, Gauteng is an extremely violent and crime-ridden province. So if you are going to send people in there to be what the Gauteng government calls a multiplier force to the police, then you have to make sure for their own safety and for the safety of the community that they are properly trained. Now, I was contacted by several whistleblowers who have been close to this process, who have questioned the quality of the training. The impression that you get is that it's been done on a very ad hoc basis, even though the Gauteng provincial government insists that it has been done properly. And I'm also uncertain, and perhaps the Gauteng government will ultimately clarify this, whether the training is even properly accredited by the Safety and Security Education and Training Authority, SETA. When I contacted them earlier this week, they were not able to say yes or no. You would think that they would easily be able to say, yes, the Gauteng peace officer or the Gauteng warden is a certificated course. It's all above board, but we haven't been able to establish that.
Mark, the Gauteng government, as you've said, have described AmaPanyaza as, you said, a multiplier force for the police. What kind of powers have been given to the AmaPanyaza? This is in comparison to the police. What can they do and what can they not?
Well, Tommy, that's the important thing, is that they have extensive powers. Section 334 of the Criminal Procedure Act lists the powers that are given to people who are declared as peace officers by a special government gazette. And that includes extensive powers of arrest, powers of investigation, powers to enter people's homes and to search. So this is, that there are, I think, 17 different powers that are listed under that act. But you see, here is the problem, which is that in order for anybody to be officially and legally a peace officer, the relevant government, provincial or municipal department has to approach the Minister of Justice and Correctional Services, seek permission, and that minister, in consultation with the police, has to issue a government gazette saying this group of people in this area are assigned these particular powers as peace wardens. And that has not happened up to this point. I'm absolutely certain of that. And so we have a whole risk here of abuse of power linked to the fact that these people may not be properly trained to do what they're expected to do.
Over and above the training that you've just mentioned, so they are illegal. The AmaPanyaza are illegal. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's my, let's put it this way, that they have been established outside of the proper legal process that is that exists for this purpose, for declaring people as peace officers, legally as what are known as peace officers, which is what the Gauteng government says the crime prevention wardens are.
So is this something that you're going to move ahead with? Now that you say you've got whistleblowers, they're people who say that they've been assaulted, and you're saying that this assault has been done outside of the powers that officially elected peace officers are supposed to have. Are you, as Daily Maverick, or are those who are affected somehow going to move ahead with this?
Well, we continue to investigate it because there are still some big questions. You know, I'm interested to know when and if the Minister of Justice will issue this government gazette. He received a request from the Gauteng government, apparently in June. It's now the middle of September. He hasn't issued that gazette. But even at the point when the request was made in June, the so-called training had already taken place. The wardens had started to be deployed. A budget of 1.5 billion rand had been added to the Department of Community Safety's budget. So the train is already very, very far advanced. But the other problem, Tommy, is this, and this I have established, which is that there is very little protection for members of the public who may become victims of abuse of power, because this particular person who was beaten up in Katlehong discovered that IPID does not cover the crime prevention wardens, and that essentially what you have to do if you fall victim to an abuse of power is report it to a police station and hope that it will be investigated there as an ordinary criminal offense, and report it to the Department of Community Safety. Now, you know, that is just not good enough in terms of our law or in terms of our constitutional protections.
You've raised a lot of questions there, Mark Heywood, along with this investigation. Is there going to be a reporting, as you mentioned, by those who say they've been assaulted to the police in order to take this forward?
Well, the one person who caused us to start this investigation did report it to IPID, not knowing that IPID is not authorized to investigate crime prevention wardens, and he did lay a case with the police. IPID has in fact now visited and taken a statement from him, and the Gauteng government is aware of what has happened to him. We have heard allegations of other abuses of power, not all as involving violent assault, but other forms of criminality. And this is why I think it becomes so important that there are proper systems of oversight, that the public is properly informed about what the powers of the crime prevention wardens are, and that there is proper recourse in the instances where people believe that those powers have been abused. That is all critical. You know, what we're not saying, and what the people that I have spoken to in the course of this investigation, is that the idea is necessarily a bad one. We need to do everything we can in the fight against crime. The police are overstretched, they're under-resourced. If they can be supported properly and effectively with a well-trained cadre of what we're calling crime prevention wardens, well and good. But we must do the job properly.
Mark Heywood, we'll leave it at that for this morning. Thank you for your time.